Chuggaaconroy has recently become the subject of some drama and cancel culture when he is accused of sexual assault against someone named Lady Emily. But he didn't sexually assault her. At all. And him getting canceled for this is, in a word, stupid. What's up, guys? Acer Thorn here, and this is my latest hot take. So, before I talk about the actual controversy, it's probably best if I explain who Chuggaaconroy even is and what my history with him is. I've never met him in person, so when I say history with him, just keep that in mind. Basically, he was the first Let's Player that I ever subscribed to, all the way back in, I think, 2009 or 10. And then in around 2011, he and two other Let's Players, Proton John and Nintendo Capri Sun, joined forces to create a collab channel called The Runaway Guys. Needless to say, I immediately subscribed to them, and I started watching their first Let's Play series, which was Mario Party 1. Now bear in mind, I was on a completely different YouTube account at the time, so no matter how much you scroll, you're never going to find any Acer Thorn comments in the comment sections because I was on a different account at the time. That being said, bear in mind that at the time that the Runaway Guys was still young, Chuggaaconroy was still pretty heavy on the microaggressions. I now realize that the appropriate term for them is microaggressions, but Chuggaaconroy, at the time I just saw them as just statements of bigotry, and when I started watching The Runaway Guys, and Proton John during Mario Party 1 was constantly pointing out how offensive these microaggressions were, I started to realize, holy shit, maybe I was wrong to be a fan of Chuggaaconroy in the first place. And I ultimately just decided, you know what, fuck him. I'm unsubscribing from Chugga. I'm still gonna watch The Runaway Guys because Proton John and Tim, who was Nintendo Capri Sun, they're still entertaining to watch. But I'm just gonna despise Chuggaaconroy just because he's a bigot. Eventually, they started doing Let's Play of Little Big Planet on the PlayStation. I think it was the PS3, and they had a co-host because they have rotating fourth members on their channel from time to time. This co-host was a female Let's Player called Lucagen. I noticed that everyone in the comment section was talking about how, oh my god, it's a girl! It's really a girl! Like, you fucking incels! So I just posted a comment cussing everyone else out, because who the hell cares if she's a girl? And Proton John actually responded to that comment, which was from my old account, outright calling me awesome for having made it. Lucagen and Proton John eventually got married, and to my knowledge, they are still married. So, good for them. But that was basically, I just had such a knee-jerk reaction to what I now know today to be microaggressions, although those comments were probably not even microaggressions, those were just plain old sexist. But from Chugga, I realized that they are, the appropriate term to use would be microaggressions. And I just had such a knee-jerk reaction to it all. Of course, in the years since then, the political left, the woke crowd, has gotten to such an absolute extreme degree of zero tolerance for what they perceive to be intolerance, that it has ultimately evolved down to people literally just shouting, fuck you, over and over again, 1 foot from someone's face, if they literally just stand there and hold a sign that expresses a viewpoint they disagree with. Like, what the hell? So I have since been far more put off by the current woke movement than I ever was by Chugga's microaggressions. And frankly, I have since realized that my anger towards Chugga for his microaggressions was inherently misplaced. I've since been on the receiving end of that level of hate over just raising genuine good faith concerns about the trans movement, and I have since realized that I was wrong to hate on Chugga for his microaggressions, which weren't even intentional, and I have since resubbed to him. Now that happened about a month before all of this this cancel culture crap broke out surrounding him. So it wasn't just that I reconciled because he suddenly came into the spotlight. I came to that conclusion on my own. So that's basically where we are now. And I can't stress this enough. The Runaway Guys, Chuggaaconroy was the first Let's Play channel I ever subbed to, but the Runaway Guys in particular, they were the ones who really gave me the inspiration to start my own YouTube channel. I started my channel doing Let's Plays, and just to show you what I mean, I want to play a compilation from the Runaway Guys channel. And if you're new to my channel, check out my playlist of Acerthorn moments. Now, compare this compilation to my Acerthorn moments, and honestly tell me that my commentary style isn't basically ripped verbatim from the Runaway Guys. Alright, here we go.
So, I am team no pineapple on pizza. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, same here.
Why has that been so hotly debated lately? Is it because of Splatoon?
Because people are bored.
Well, Tim's pretty much right on that.
On to our fourth project in the time that it's taken John to make 5 videos.
You are a dick.
Oh, yeah. It's Mario Party 2! 2 of us.
We can make it if we try. Just don't rush it.
Well,
or just stand there and take it like a man. Oh, dude, you are taking
Oh, no!
I am an asshole. I am an asshole. I am such an asshole. Look at me.
That was awesome. Crap. No. I can't let him have more.
You are such a dick.
I need to get
You're
Wario.
such a dick.
I need Wario.
Such a dick. Look at his bullshit. Look at it. There you go, fucker. That's what you get. Now just play the game proper.
Drive around in circles, you mean ride it in circles.
Timothy Bishop comes home with $86,750, and Pat just kind of stands there with his hands in a diamond cutter shape around his crotch. And the crowd goes wild.
So let's talk about the recent controversy and drama surrounding Chuggaaconroy. Put simply, there's this woman who goes by the alias Lady Emily. I'm just gonna call her Emily for short. Basically, she accused him of pressuring her on Discord to send him sexual photos of herself. She admits that he was quite persistent in these requests, and she alleges that Chugga had a girlfriend at the time. We're gonna save exactly what these explicit photos were for the time being, because let me tell you, when you hear what it is, you're gonna think, what the hell is this about? This is stupid. Anyway, basically, he was pressuring her into trading some erotic stuff with each other, and he allegedly had a girlfriend at the time. So that's basically what he's being canceled over. Now, before I move on to the actual sexual assault, God, calling it that makes me sick. Anyway, before I move on to the actual sexual assault, let me just talk about the allegations that Chugga had a girlfriend at the time. I don't know. This is largely uncorroborated. It's mostly Lady Emily saying this. But for the sake of argument, let's assume that Chugga had a girlfriend at the time. Let's give her the fictional name of Janet. I don't know. That's just a name I just made up and I just pulled out of my ass. has no. If it happened to be her real name, that's just coincidence. 1 in a million coincidence. So here's the thing we need to keep in mind about Chugga and Janet. It's that Janet may not have minded that Chugga was doing this. Bear in mind that that polyamory is actually quite on the rise in the 21st century. It is definitely something that needs to be discussed and explicitly agreed to in a relationship, but then again, how do we know that Chugga and Janet haven't done that? I know it's on the rise because I myself have been in a few. I have had long-distance relationships with women who have outright said that they don't mind if we do a triad. I have literally been in a triad before, and you know that woman who guest starred on my channel for a couple of videos before she dumped me, Queen Earththorn? Yeah, she was one of those people who said that she didn't mind if I got an extra girlfriend and we did a triad together. Yeah, I mean, it ultimately never came to that. I didn't manage to find another girlfriend before she dumped me, but she was one of those women, one of those girlfriends who I was in, who I had, who said that she was poly-willing. In fact, looking back on all of my past girlfriends, I would say that the majority of my girlfriends have actually been poly-willing. So just keep that in mind. When I say that polyamory is on the rise, that's literal. I'm speaking from personal experience. Now, just to be clear here, I would never cheat on a monogamous girlfriend. I've had a few monogamous girlfriends in the past, and none of them I've ever once cheated on. In fact, a couple of times with one of those girlfriends, I had dreams of cheating on her, and as soon as I woke up, I texted her and confessed and told her how sorry I was that I had cheated on her. And she just immediately forgave me because that was just a dream, so nothing really happened, but still, as long as I'm in a monogamous relationship, I will honor the monogamy. So, when the idea that Chugga had a girlfriend at the time, to the extent it is being used as an aggravating factor, making Chugga's already egregious actions, which aren't even egregious to begin with. I mean, for fuck's sake, when I start talking about the actual sexual assault itself, you guys are gonna fucking laugh. Basically, what we need to keep in mind is that is Janet's decision, and Janet's alone, if she wants to break up with him over that. So, it's not our place to judge what happens, what Janet does and does not have a problem with. Alright? She absolutely would have the right to insist on monogamy, but in the 21st century, in the year of our Lord 2024, we cannot. The possibility of polyamory is more than 1 in a million, and it's a possibility we have to keep in mind while we are passing judgment on Chugga in the court of public opinion regarding his romantic and sexual pursuits. Alright? In fact, this reminds me very heavily of a controversy that happened a few years ago regarding a professional wrestling pundit named Adam Blampier. He was not a Let's Player, he was a wrestling pundit, so different niches on YouTube, but still worth discussing. He was likewise canceled, at least temporarily, for pressuring a 18-year-old girl, and she was at least 18, so there's no pedophilia there, into sending explicit photos of herself, of her breasts. And one thing that was used as an aggravating factor was that he had a girlfriend at the time. The problem was that, at least according to Blampier, they were in an open relationship. So, I mean, there's been some allegations that he ultimately that he lied about being in an open relationship. But ultimately never came. We never verified that because, like with Chugga here, we ultimately decided that this was all a great big nothing burger long before it ever became necessary to verify if he was actually in an open relationship or not. So, all in all, my point is that Chugga allegedly having a girlfriend at the time doesn't mean a damn thing here. Now, pertaining to Lady Emily, it is, I do not deny for 1 second that Emily herself still had the right to not want to be with someone who already had a girlfriend. Janet may have been polyamorous or even polywilling. That doesn't mean Emily has to be. She absolutely has the absolute right to want to be her boyfriend's one and only. That is absolutely reasonable. That is perfectly normal. And there is nothing wrong with that. As long as it goes both ways. I will not, if she wants a semi-open relationship where she can sleep with other men, but her boyfriend has to be monogamous to her, that's gonna be kind of hypocritical right there. That's one of the reasons why I prefer a triad. Me personally, that's one of the reasons I prefer a triad, because I don't want an open relationship, because it would be hypocritical of me if I only wanted to sleep with other women, but all my girlfriends had to be monogamous to me. That would just be hypocritical of me. So a triad for me seems like the best sort of poly. In any event, Lady Emily has the absolute right to insist on monogamy herself. She doesn't want to be with somebody who has a girlfriend. She doesn't have to be, and that's her right. But here's the thing. Here's what we need to keep in mind about that. If Emily is going to invoke that right, she has a duty, she has an obligation to be transparent about that. She doesn't want to share erotic pics with Chuggaaconroy. She needs to just straight up tell him no. And see, this is something that I've noticed was completely lacking in her screenshots of conversations between herself and Chuggaaconroy, is that she's reluctant to do all of this, but if she didn't want to do it, she should have just straight up said no. She should have just told Chugga to fuck off. And that goes not just for her being with somebody who's already in a relationship, but she also has the absolute right to not be romantically interested in Chuggaaconroy, even if he were single. But she still has a duty to be transparent about that and to properly disclose it. So the fact that she didn't do that means it's not Chugga's fault for not taking the hint. It's Emily's fault for making it so that he needs to take the hint instead of just being 100% blunt with him. And now it's time for the main event, the actual sexual assault itself. Alright, let me just say that, regardless of him cheating on Janet, I don't care about any of that. But whether he is single, taken, married, monogamous, polyamorous, waka amorous, I don't care. If he sexually assaulted someone, he deserves to be canceled, if not put behind bars. Alright, that is a hard line in the sand that I will draw. So, that being said, did he actually sexually assault anyone? No. He certainly didn't assault Lady Emily. Alright? What he did was that he sent her some shoes, and he asked her to send him pictures of her wearing the shoes to cater to his foot fetish. He has a foot fetish. What? I'm sorry, but I need to channel my inner Peter Griffin here and ask...
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
I'm sorry, but how is this even remotely something worth canceling him over? This fetish is perfectly fine. Like, there is nothing immoral, extreme, or frankly even out of the ordinary about it. There's gotta be at least 1 in 3 people who find feet to be at least mildly erotic. You want a fetish that's worth canceling somebody over. Okay, I've seen some fetishes that will make you vomit on the spot. I've seen some fetishes that are so extreme that if you saw just one of those videos, you would be in therapy over them. Just instantly, just full stop. Alright, I have seen fetishes that put 2 girls 1 cup to shame. Okay, so no. I gotta once again reference the Adam Blumpier controversy. A few years ago, back in 2019, Jeremy Soule, video game composer, was accused of raping somebody. Now that's an offense that, if it were true, he would absolutely deserve to be canceled over. Of course, I made a video explaining how the events that this alleged victim described are, at best, sexual harassment in the workplace. But I want to play a clip from that video where I also reference Blompier, because, by God, I'm starting to get deja vu here. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. I remember a few years back when a YouTube personality named Adam Blompier fell from grace after some woman had alleged sexual harassment over webcam against him. At first, he was devastated, thinking that he was a monster.
First of all, I just want to start this off by saying I am again so sorry for my actions and the hurt that they have caused, for the trust that I've abused.
But literally everybody else who was looking at the case from an objective standpoint could see clear as day that Adam Blompier did nothing wrong. To the contrary, it was the woman, not Blompier, who was taking advantage of the social stigma against men and in favor of women. The social stigma that presumes that women are the victims and men are the predators. It was clear to everyone else that she was just exploiting that stigma to get her 15 minutes of fame.
There is a huge difference in between what he has done and predatory behavior. Calm the fuck down. This is not what he has done.
That is mental. Seriously, absolutely mental.
Blompier eventually realized that he wasn't actually the monster he thought he was. That he was the one being taken advantage of rather than the girl.
Hello everyone, don't worry, this is not going to be another one of those Adam Blompier self-pity parties. God knows I hate those as much as you do. I still stick by kind of some things I said afterwards. Like, I know what I've done and what I haven't done, okay? I know that I'm not a monster. I know I'm not a sexual predator.
I'm honestly getting deja vu here. This chick apparently is just vying for attention. Oh yeah. And just so you know, Blompier, at the very least, he was actually pressuring this 18-year-old girl into sending him pictures of her breasts. That is honestly far worse than what Chugga is being accused of here. Chugga is not asking for any nudity in these photographs. Hell, if anything, he's asking her to put on clothes. So, I'm sorry, but why are people canceling Chugga over this? Of all things. I mean, are you people just so fucking itching for something to be mad over? Just itching to something to cancel somebody over. And since nobody's done anything truly deplorable in the past couple of weeks, you just find something, literally fucking anything, to cancel somebody over.
I was digging through Leonardo DiCaprio's garbage, and I found McDonald's.
You mean he eats food?
Because frankly, this is the epitome of stupid. This fetish is the epitome of mild fetishes. I wish the worst that I've ever seen was a foot fetish. Like you people are so fucking petty that you... But you know what? For the sake of argument here, let's also assume that Chugga really has done something that is honest to goodness against the law. For the record, even if Lady Emily were underaged, this still wouldn't be against the law because there was no nudity being exchanged. With Blompier, yeah, the fact that that girl was 18 is the only thing stopping him from being a pedophile. But since she was 18, it was all fine. With Chugga, even if this girl were fucking 17 or 16, no nudity was being exchanged, so there's no law being broken. Deal with it. But even if there was a law being broken, it still doesn't matter. As I pointed out in one of my other hot takes, it doesn't give you... This time it really was a crime. Like, this person really could have gone to jail for what they were exposed with, what it was exposed for doing. But that's still, as I pointed out in that video, any attempts to find that person should be directed solely towards sending the police to that area to apprehend it, and not so that we can start going onto its YouTube channel and Twitch streams and start harassing it. We do not have the right to take the law into our own hands. No one ever has the right to take the law into their own hands. Got a problem with that? Go fuck yourself. So, if you think that Chugga's foot fetish, his foot fetish, is worth canceling him over, then by all means unsubscribe from him, just like I did years ago. And I eventually resubbed. By all means, unsubscribe from him. You can unsubscribe from him for literally any reason you damn well please. Nothing's stopping you. But the minute you start harassing him over it, the minute you start sending him death threats, the minute you start sending him packages of feces in the mail, you've crossed the line. At that point, you are the problem. You're not holding Chugga to account. Even if he did something wrong, which he hasn't, at that point, you're just a vigilante. You're just taking the law into your own hands. And that makes you a piece of shit. So, in conclusion, I would like everyone to kindly give Chuggaaconroy one great big apology. He has done nothing wrong. The worst he has possibly done is cheat on his girlfriend, and even that is up in the air. Barring that, nothing he did was even remotely cancel-worthy. I'm honestly surprised more people haven't sought to cancel him because of the microaggressions. Considering that cancel culture tends to hold people to account for what they've done years ago, nowadays woke culture has gotten to such an extreme degree that these microaggressions are likely going to get anyone canceled. But I'm honestly surprised that that isn't what got him canceled. Whereas this somehow is where we draw the line. You dare get an erection from seeing women's feet? Oh, you are the pervert of all perverts. You people need to get a fucking life. Acer Thorn out. Peace.